Okay, so in this video, we will quickly review the quotient rule. So how do we differentiate a quotient of two functions, f of x over g of x? Well, this is the derivative of the numerator, so f prime of x times the denominator, g of x, minus the numerator, f of x, times the derivative of the denominator, g prime of x, over, of course, g of x all squared. And that is the well-known quotient rule. So let's consider a few examples. What if we differentiate with respect to x? Ln of x, the natural logarithm, over x to the 4. Well, the derivative of ln of x is 1 over x, times g of x, x to the 4, minus the numerator, ln of x, times the derivative of x to the 4, power rule, over x to the 4 squared, that is of course x to the 8th. When you double exponentiate, you multiply the exponents. X to the 4 over x is x cubed, and we can simplify here by factoring x cubed and cancelling with the x to the 8th. So if you factor the x cubed, you're left with x cubed 1 minus 4 ln of x over x to the 8th. But of course 8 minus 3 is 5. And that leaves you with 1 minus 4 ln of x over x to the 5. Let's consider a second example. What if we differentiate, again with respect to x cubed plus 1 over x squared plus 3. So the derivative of the numerator, 3x squared, times the denominator, x squared plus 3, minus our numerator, x cubed plus 1, times the derivative of the denominator, which is 2x, over, of course, x squared plus 3 all squared. I will leave the simplification here up to you. You can multiply or factor in x from both terms, then multiply the remaining terms and subtract and simplify your numerator. And again, I will leave this up to you. Let's look at one more example. Now we'll differentiate a function of u, of course with respect to u. And we'll take cosine of u over arc sine of u, the inverse function of sine. So again, we apply the quotient rule. The derivative of cosine is negative sine times arc sine of u minus the numerator, cosine of u, times the derivative of arc sine of u, which is 1 over the square root of 1 minus u squared. And this is all over arc sine of u all squared. Let's consider now one last example. What if we differentiate now with respect to w, e to the w over 3w minus 1. So the derivative of the natural exponential is itself times 3w minus 1 minus the numerator times the derivative of this function, which is 3, over 3w minus 1 all squared. And of course you could factor in e to the u from both terms. And if you do, you're left with 3w minus 1 minus 3, which is 3w minus 4. And that's it. So always remember the quotient rule is the derivative of the numerator times the denominator minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator over the denominator all squared. And that's it.